Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up, babe. Tonight we gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up.
It's Saturday. We've got Fever versus DZG. Are you excited, Zexel? Because I sure am.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing out of DZG here. I'd like to see something nice coming out of these guys.
Yeah, no, this has definitely been DCG splits across the board. But as far as what's on the board, as far as pick and bans go, we're seeing the Victor ban and the Diana ban, as well as the Ashe. The Ashe, I'm a little against the Ashe ban personally. What about you?
I mean, with the Ashe buffs, I think that she's become quite a prominent bot laner, to be completely honest. That ultimate cooldown is pretty big.
But, in my mind, I just don't see the Ashe standing up to the likes of Jinx or Aphelios once they get going.
It's not more of the fact that she needs to be the hyper carry. She is the utility ADC. With that ultimate cooldown, it pretty much just brings her into viability in this early game.
Okay, first thing we're seeing in is the Hecarim. Decent priority pick, especially if you're trying to go for the Manamoon build, or not the Manamoon or Chemtake build. I would hate for them to go the Divine Sunder build. I personally have found the Divine Sunder build no longer feels good. Followed up by a Trundle. I actually favor the Trundle in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice, especially since normally you do see the Hecarim building the Chemtank build normally, from what I've seen. Basically just gives you more stats for the Trundle, and the 1v1 pressure is just immense.
Yeah, Trundle is a favorite of DZG this split. Very, in my experience of playing as a DZG member, this has been the only time that I've seen every team adopt the Trundle gameplay.
Yeah, it's a very good flex pick as well. I mean, you pick it in top, jungle, even support, it's viable. And we do see the Nautilus actually getting picked up. The Glacial Nautilus has been very nice in the spot lane, and to counter that over on Fever, we see the Thresh Aphelios being picked into it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see what DZG picks as far as ADCs go, because the Jinx is off the table, but the only other hyper carry that's left on the table, it was the Aphelios. So I'm thinking maybe Xayah or something to go with for some peel, or I don't know, Caitlyn maybe.
They could look for something. It is the Twitch that gets locked in. That isn't 100% in the bot lane from these picks that we got going so far.
Definitely the bot lane. I think that we're gonna see the Twitch roam a lot more, and concede the lane for the most part, just in order to create pressure elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit risky picking the Twitch into the Aphelios, because no matter what, if the Aphelios doesn't get destroyed in lane, he's going to scale, and no matter what, as long as he doesn't have bad guns, it's pretty hard to go into him.
Okay, Kennen, we see a lot of top lane focus in this one, so I think there's going to be a lot of pressure into how this matchup plays out top. I think they're trying to pretty much generate a lead in draft for whoever's going to be in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think last time we saw Leo, the sexy lion, actually doing some work up in that top lane, so...
That's the Corki and the Victor ban this rotation. I'm actually kind of excited to see something not Victor Corki in the mid lane. As good as those champions are, it's kind of played out for me personally as a player and a caster.
Yeah, I mean, seeing these bans, the only main meta pick that I see up is the Ahri. I mean, we do go into this lower elo bracket, and you can pretty much pick up anything as long as you're comfortable on it. I wonder what they're going to blind here. It does look like the Lissandra, which is actually a very stable pick, especially into any assassins that the blue side might want to pick up.
I mean, that's a good bit of lockdown for the side of DZG right now. Especially focused lockdown. With the Trundle, Nautilus, and Lissandra, I think there's a lot of potential to be made to get picks there. We are seeing the Shen locked in top. I would like to see something that can punish this pick, but oh my god, Syndra. I don't know about you, but I think Syndra's just a bad champ in general. I think she's always very weak, and very vulnerable.
Well, Syndra is more of a stat check champion. She is just there as the press R, the end all be all. Basically, if your champion's better than Syndra, it can be considered meta. Lysandra, don't really know about that much. It is quite a unique pick. It is more of a utility mid, obviously, and we do see the Wukong into the Shen up in top lane. I don't actually know how weird that matchup's going to go, since Wukong does rely quite a lot on his auto attacks. And I was going to say something about that Shen pick. I'm surprised it got so far through the draft, to be completely honest.
Really? I don't know if this was necessarily a priority for the focus top was a priority for DZG in this draft. We definitely see like more focus towards the mid matchup, and I just think that their side of DZG is trying to avoid playing the meta as much as possible as far as the mid picks go.
Yeah, it does look like that. I mean, like I was saying, the Shen getting all the way to the end of this draft, though, it could have been picked much earlier, is what I meant. Because, I mean, if you ever leave Shen up, it's like you just get so much more map priority and macro over the enemy team pre 14 minutes, because the enemy top laner doesn't even have access to that teleport most of the time. But we are looking at these comps that are all finished up. How are you feeling about these comps so far?
Personally, I think that I like Fevers more for the fact that they have the Aphelios. Though there is a lot of disruption and pick potential from the side of DZG. I think the biggest issue for DZG is going to be able to get onto the Aphelios. Especially when Aphelios has like chakrams or something like that. It's going to be difficult for DZG to fight. And especially like unless they're able to gain access to the Aphelios and shut him down early before the fight gets started, it's going to be a rough team fight for the side of DZG.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking over at DZG, they do rely a lot on these picks, a lot on basically being able to catch out the enemy. But with Fever, they basically just have protect comp. They protect the Aphelios. They basically let Syndra do her thing from a long range, and even with their front line of the Hecarim, it's just they have everything going for them. I don't know what DZG is going to do if they can't make anything out of this early game and getting these picks with the Twitch stealth and the Trundle ganks.
Yeah, I think Eternal's gonna have a better time, just based on how he is going to want to clear. He's gonna have a better time actually generating early pressure on the map, and while Hecarim is gonna spend his time full clearing, I think the Trundle is gonna want to at least bust some flashes and create some opportunities to exploit Fever's lane setups.
Yeah, I think that is something that we need to watch out for. But looking here at the end of the comps, we do have everybody getting locked in, and we are getting ready to go into a spectator delay. So we'll be right back.
I want you to come over. I wish that you would come and give me something to prove. Won't you pull me closer? I think that I'm obsessed with everything that you do. I'm waiting, trying to be patient. You look like a painting. It's so frustrating. I hate it, yeah. I probably shouldn't say this. I probably should erase it. I probably shouldn't say this. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, call me a fan. I'm should erase it. I probably shouldn't say this. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, call me a fan. I'm living, give me a hand. I'm in it, yeah. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do.
Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, I'm with you. That I get when looking down from this high. Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, can't give up this
Welcome
And we're back. DZG versus Fever. We had a little bit of a pause, but we're getting right back into the action. It looks like these players are going to be starting with a basic 5-point. Nothing too exciting.
Yeah, we do see just 5-point. There shouldn't be too much action going on here. Anything going on with the runes?
So, the Lethal Temple from the Twitch, I don't really play Twitch well enough. I don't really think that there's anything too crazy right now from either side as far as what their runes are being built.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could really point out is that summon Airy on the side of Syndra, but other than that, I think that everything looks pretty normal here. But If we're looking on the side of DZG, tell me, what do you think that their win condition is?
The win condition for DZG at this point is probably going to be getting the Twitch snowballing. So for the side of DZG, you're going to want to set up your mid and bot lane in a way that facilitates the Twitch well enough to be able to roam towards the mid and get some early gold into him to be able to do as much splash damage with the ulti post 6 and win the fight.
It does look like there's a little free auto attack coming out of the Aphelios on Twitch there. Well, actually, there's a lot of damage going to that Twitch in this lane. Aphelios doesn't care about the minions. He's taking on the Twitch in the 1v1. Up in top lane, we do have some trades going on. Level 1, I mean, I wouldn't expect too much more to happen, and we can look for the level 2, just depends on if the Thresh actually can last at this minion. Oh, Nautilus actually going up because they get level 2 first. The Glacial Augment coming out of both sides, the Exhaust going on the Twitch, the Exhaust going on the Thresh, and the Flash actually comes out of both of them, and the Aphelios is just outputting so much damage, I don't think Twitch is able to heal up enough in this fight. Even though Twitch gets the 5 stacks onto the Aphelios, he just doesn't take as much damage.
Yeah, the big thing was that leading up to that fight was Morpheus took so much damage that he was half health or just over half health before they even took that all in level 2.
Yeah, and we do see here in the mid lane so much poke coming out of the Syndra, and the lane, she almost gets the
Oh my
first
god,
button.
the flash and the kill still goes out!
Yeah, Ari actually ends up getting the kill for Syndra, and that's a really good start for the side of Syndra on Fever. We do see a gank coming in from the Hecarim, the Ghost, and Nautilus is just able to pull himself back in the tower and just not enough damage.
So I'm not a fan of that gank for one reason alone, is that the side of DZG was already pushed so far up towards their tower that there wasn't really an angle available for the side of Fever.
Yeah, I think that they were a bit too far pushed in the tower, and this Aphelios Thresh is actually just taking it to the Twitch Nautilus and just kind of poking them even under the turret. We see Thresh taking tower shot over and over again. It's a bit unfortunate. It does look like they're going for the dive here. The Hecarim actually charging up, getting the Twitch shot to the wall. There actually is a lot of damage going to the Aphelios, but he's able to secure the kill on the Twitch, and they go 2 for 1. The Twitch actually gets both kills because of the poison. That's actually really, really good for the side of Morpheus on DZG.
Honestly, I think that was a really overly risky play by the side of Fever. You already had granted yourself a little bit of an advantage within the bot lane. You're up 10 CS. There's no need to really force such an aggressive dive that early within the game. You only have access to your level 3 spells, and you already blew your Ghost, so you're already missing some of the damage that you need for that Hecarim. So I think the target's bot lane were not low enough for that to be a worthwhile experience for the side of Fever.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about how we want to see the aggression coming out of DCG, but we just see the aggression coming out of Fever even going for the tower dives as early as, like, 5 minutes, and it ends up going bad for them. But
I've had this conversation too many times with coaches, and mostly directed to me, about having aggression, but having controlled aggression. I think that was a perfect instance. Okay, but we're seeing a hard going on the side of Fever onto the Twitch. The Twitch is going to escape.
We do see the hook actually land on a Symphonic, and they do seem to be engaging. The Graviton's actually able to snare him, and he's getting flayed back in, but he does end up getting the flash out. The Pillar actually able to stop that gank and get Symphonic out on this Nautilus.
Yeah, a good escape for the Nautilus. I didn't necessarily expect the Nautilus to escape, but I think he might be in danger here soon, shortly enough.
The charge actually goes away right before he gets the auto attack, and I don't know what this Hecarim is doing still here down in the bot lane.
Had he not wasted his E, I think that would have been a kill for the side of Fever.
Yeah, it's a bit of aggression from this Hecarim down to try to get this Aphelios ahead, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
So this is something that I didn't necessarily anticipate. We're seeing the Trundle have more CS than the Hecarim.
Yeah, I mean, we do see the Hecarim constantly sitting in this bottom lane, which means that Trundle's just freely farming up, because he's not even needing to go down there and stop them from ganking.
That's something I didn't notice. I see that the Hecarim is going Conqueror. I personally do not feel that the Conqueror build is, and Divine Sunder build is good anymore, as I said in the pregame. I think it would have been much more worthwhile for the side of Fever if they would have went Phase Rush and Chem Tank Manamune.
Yeah, I mean, we do like to see a lot more of the tanky and damage build, or sorry, the tanky build come out of the Hecarim as of recently, and they do kind of need that front line, which they don't really get out of the Divine Sunder Hecarim compared to the Chem Tank. So, I mean, if we are talking on the enemy team, there actually is quite a lot of like front line going into the side of DZG, so they might want he might be thinking that he needs the healing in that fight. But now, actually, we see a lot of early game aggression coming from the Aphelios and Thresh, but it does seem like they're trying to slow push this in, while Trundle's actually taking the dragon.
Yeah, it's working out for them. I think this is a risky play for the side of DZG. You do have priority mid, but the bot lane could easily rotate in any instance. But doesn't really matter at this point, considering he was able to get it undetected for so long.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really nice sneak out of the Trundle. We do see here, if we actually look, there's about a 30 CS deficit down on that ADC role because of this early game like fights that have been going on. It's a bit unfortunate for the side of Morpheus.
Yeah, Morpheus has just been having a rough time this game, taking so much damage from the Aphelios.
We actually do see a stun come out of Syndra, followed up by the W, and she's hitting another Q, and that could be the ultimate coming out, and that's another solo kill going into Syndra's pockets. A ward actually very comfortable on the Syndra, looks like.
Yeah, he said, hey, PoE, I know that you said that this champion sucks. I've got a surprise for you, buddy.
Yeah, it turns out the Syndra in the 1v1 normally is able to beat the Lissandra unless she can hit her ult, and she just hasn't been able to do that on time. And it does actually look like the Trundle is going down bottom. We actually get the dive into the turret, and the hook actually lands on the Twitch, but he comes out of that, and the exhaust goes down. The Shen ult coming in, able to taunt him under turret, and the kill goes over to Aphelios, which is very nice for the side of Fever.
Yeah, so now we're seeing the 2-in-1 Aphelios, but we are seeing the side of DZG making a cross-map play and getting the Rift Herald top
Ooh, another
side.
poke going on under the turret. I mean, that's a lot of poke coming from just that, but the tower shot actually just destroys the health bar of Aphelios, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do anything else. Shen going in, the Hecarim right behind them, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do much, except the Wukong is actually just not fast enough to get out of the situation, and he does get taken down. And the Rift Herald's actually not able to connect to the turret in time. I think they might not even get the first charge off, and it might just completely go to waste. Yeah, it doesn't even get the first charge. It's a bit unfortunate for the side of DZG.
That is a 100% feels bad moment for the side of DZG. You were able to make the cross-map play and get the Rift Herald, but Shelly did not get their day, and we're not able to hit that tower.
Yeah, we do see here just Shen actually kind of freezing the wave up here. I don't know if he's going to slow push it. I wouldn't have expected him to since the TP didn't come out, but it does look like he's pushing it. And in bottom lane, Morpheus just trying to clear out the CS so he can go get a reset. We actually do see a little bit of roaming from Lissandra up there. She was going up to top side, but ended up looking back mid. I mean, this wave is actually stacking up quite nicely for the top lane for Shen. We could see a little bit of action in this 1v1. But it does look like there's a lot of autos connecting here. The maximum health damage out of Shen is very nice in that 1v1.
These hard trades going over. It says, no, not today. You are not allowed to get this wave. Flash being busted. Follow-up flash.
Shen actually takes down Wukong in the 1v1, and luckily he does have the teleport, so it doesn't look like he's going to lose all of this wave, which is very fortunate for the side of Leo the Sexy Lion.
He's gonna still miss a decent amount. He still have 10 seconds on the timer. Now, will he miss all of it? Maybe not, but this is still gonna be plates going over to the Shen. He's gonna have some fat pockets by the end of this.
Yeah, we do see this bot lane, this wave is just stacking up so much, and the Hecarim actually coming down to look up for gank. He does get caught by the Trundle, almost immediately chunked out. He's being chased down. The Hecarim's almost immediately killed in the 1v1 from Trundle, even while he's running away. The hook actually going onto the Nautilus. Not able to get anything else out of that.
It would have been better for the side of Fever to hold on to that hook for just a little bit longer. Considering that they were so split as far as where their members were located at within the bot side of the map.
Yeah, it does look like they're on a little bit of a different page, the Thresh and Aphelios, but nothing, not too much where the Thresh is going into the hook and trying to go into the 1v2, 1v3, but a little bit. We do see, I thought Lysandra was going to get the blue, but it doesn't look like it. The Trundle takes the blue buff and roams into the bottom side river. He may be looking for the gank again, but the Hecarim is there to counter it. Nautilus flashes right over the hook to get the ultimate onto Aphelios. They immediately lock onto this Aphelios. And meanwhile, the Twitch actually flashing in with the ult. He gets exhausted, it's not enough, and Thresh is actually flashing out. The Trundle following him. Lysandra's actually able to get her ult off, but it's just immediately killed afterwards. Now
yeah, the Shen's just a little too big.
It does look like the taunt goes over and just not able to kill the Shen or Hecarim. They're just so tanky, and the Triumph with the Aphelios behind them is just doing too much damage, and they're able to take down every single player on the side of DZG.
So that's the unfortunate thing when the enemy team has a strong fed Shen, is that he has so much dominion over the wave that there's never a point for the enemy top laner to actually interrupt the Shen ultimate. And so even dedicating 4 members to bot lane, it wasn't enough. And now the Syndra was able to just get plates mid, like a ton of plates. So this is all in all ends up being a net negative for the side of DZG, despite like the initial good look and lockdown onto the Aphelios. And we're even seeing the 5k deficit for the side of DZG.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about how we wanted to see more of a catch style coming out of this DZG comp, but they keep fighting in this bot lane. I mean, that was a 4v4, and it just wasn't nothing was able to happen there. They just ended up losing the 4v4, and this side of Fever was able to take the team fight.
Oh, and that's first tower going to the Syndra. That is going to be a very healthy and wealthy Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, she is already on her full item plus boots, and she just got that tower. She might look for a reset soon. I mean, we do see Hecarim just trying to pick up his camp so he can get onto these items to be able to fight and be a bit of a front line for this team, but it just hasn't been enough so far in these team fights. Or it has been enough, sorry.
Yeah. Who do you think can be? Who do you think is the route for DZG to getting back into this game?
I mean, we want to see more out of this Lysandra, I think. I think if Lysandra's able to lock down and if the Twitch is able to position well enough in these team fights, it might just be enough.
This is, I will say this is actually a disappointing performance from the side of DZG's Gopamine. Gopamine has had a very awesome split. We're seeing a hard engage under the Wukong. Wukong said, hey, I know I'm behind, but it doesn't matter. I will 1v1 you.
Yeah, we do see the Shen ult come out, and Syndra almost 100-0 the Wukong after the combo. Like, not even able to throw out everything onto this Wukong, and he's just able to walk out. We do see Fever actually getting this Rift Herald since the Wukong is having the base. It does look like DZ is looking to do something about it, but the Rift Herald's already gone down. The Thresh actually going in a bit too deep here. The Trundle's actually able to connect the pillar, and the hook doesn't connect, but the Hecarim actually going back in. He's able to knock the Nautilus in to instantly kill the Nautilus and get to the back. Trundle actually goes down after ulting the Aphelios, but Aphelios just 100-0 the Twitch, and that's a 3-for-1 on the side of Fever.
Fearless had good guns, the setup was there, the ulti was there for the Hecarim, and it just was a bad fight. They side of DZG fought inside a choke point, and because of this, they were able to get slapped up by this big splash damage from the Aphelios and the big ulti from the Hecarim. One of the biggest things that people want to avoid is fighting in those small corridors within the jungle when you have.
Yeah,
like,
we do see Syndra actually connect the stun and get the ultimate, and Wukong just gets instantly killed by this Syndra. She is massive right now.
Yeah, there's not much that this Wukong can do as far as going anywhere on this map and not having a rough time being as behind as he is.
Well, actually, the taunt flash comes out of this Shen, able to lock down the Lissandra. Lissandra has to get out with her E and just gets killed under the turret by the Hecarim. And we were just talking about the bottom lane with Wukong. What do you think about that first purchase, Blade of the Rune King? Actually, Syndra's getting killed by this Trundle. He's actually able to get onto her and get auto after auto attack. The Syndra flashes out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. She's able to get the stun, and the red buff actually doesn't kill her. That was a really nice play to get out from the Syndra.
This Syndra has lived by the skin of her teeth multiple, like, I think one too many times this game.
Yeah, the Syndra is playing very, very well and able to get out of these like, almost death scenarios each and every time. We do see here the bottom lane, both sides rotating to the top lane. There actually is a dragon coming up soon, so they might try to reset and look for something down there. We do see the Wukong trying to push down to this bottom side and maybe get that tower for some objective bounty for the side of DZG. Meanwhile, Hecarim's actually clearing out vision in the jungle by himself. It's a bit unsafe, but
I think that there's enough reason for the side of Fever to expect that somebody else, like most of their players are topside. If you look at the way their vision is placed, they at least have some idea that there is some safety in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, with them seeing that Trundle up in the top lane, I'd expect Fever to just instant rush this dragon coming up soon.
Yeah, and especially when it's kind of hard to get your lane states in a healthy place for this objective for the side of DZG. When you have like the Syndra so far ahead, it was able to just melt the wave. And it looks like it's already gone. The Drake. I think it was smart for the side of DZG to try to not contest this, though I do think they need to find a way to get back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, we do see actually here the Trundle and Wukong looking for the gank in this Shen. He does taunt, and he gets knocked up by the Wukong, but it's just not enough, and they don't decide to go for the dive. Meanwhile, down on the bottom side, we see Aphelios, Thresh, and Hecarim actually pushing in this second tier tower, and the Nautilus is the only one there to defend it. I think that might go down.
Yeah, kind of a mistake as far as lane allocation goes for the side of DZG, especially when your Twitch and Nautilus are not on the same recall timer. So because of this like bad recall timer these recall timers not being synced, you lose this tower for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, over on the side of DZG, we do see that everybody is quite behind on ends, and we actually see the Twitch picking up triple dagger, which 99% of the time means he's going to be going for this Rune's Hurricane, but do you think that's going to be enough once they get him on the item?
No, it's not even remotely going to be enough when you look at the deficits between... One, let's look at mid lane. We have a 3-0 Syndra versus a 0-4 and 1 Lissandra. 216 CS in comparison to 149. Then, when you look at top lane, the Shen has literally been everywhere on the map, and is still 10 CS up on the Wukong. Now, let's look at bot lane. Now, the Aphelios has roughly 40-ish CS up on the Twitch. There's just too much gold difference between each lane and their counterpart for even a Runeant to make a little bit of difference.
Well, I mean, if we are talking about how they are down in every single aspect of the game so far, what do you want to see? Because we were also saying how the side of Fever wanted to look for the scaling. Do you see any way for DZG to come back into this game?
That's a tough one. Honestly, there'd have to be some kind of like mass overextension by the side of Fever, and you have to look to like maybe get some shutdowns on like the Twitch. I think the Twitch is still your path to victory, but you have to have him in a position where he can get these shutdowns on the Aphelios, Syndra, or
We actually do see Thresh face checking the Trundle. He does get the play, and the Hecarim's right behind him, but I don't know if they're going to be able to. The hook actually connects and just get knocked back into the Aphelios. The Aphelios is trying to bring down the damage, but he does get the flash out. The Hecarim actually committing his ult to chase. The Aphelios ult misses. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to finish off the Trundle, but the Wukong is actually going into the 1v2 and it immediately dies to the Syndra QE. And Shen ult actually comes down because Twitch was trying to take out the Hecarim in the 1v1, but does not end up getting it.
I think that was actually a misplay by Decided Fever. Like that was definitely one dead troll, and the opportunity was missed.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like Fever is actually deciding to go for the Baron here, even though the Hecarim's quite low health and mana.
At this point, there's a lot of shields being granted over to each player, and I think that this is still very achievable, especially when you look at how strong the Aphelios is and the guns that he has on him.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, we do see the Syndra actually taking the second tier tower up top lane, and I did see, I think, ping from red side just now, the ping onto the Drake, which, I mean, they are getting bottom pressure looking for that tower as well. They could be looking for this pressure to try to lift the next dragon.
Yeah, I think... One, it's a Hex Tech Soul, so this is going to be really good for either side that gets it. So I think that the side of Fever, they just stick to this tempo that they have, and they move forward, getting this next Drake, and potentially looking to get Soul if they are unable to end the game before the Soul Drake is going to spawn.
Yeah, I mean, we do see Lissandra pick up that bottom turret, which does get a little bit of gold into everyone's pocket with the objective bounty going over to them. We do see now they do take Syndra into the bottom lane, trying to get more pressure down here. And they send Shen up top because they do realize the next objective is this dragon, and they want to look for the push. With the Shen having ult soon, they want to look for this push in the side lane. With the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, this is smart by the side of Fever. They're always putting their Shen in the opposite side of the map from the rest of their players. They're actually doing they're doing a really good job generating pressure in every lane. And they've been doing this with or without the Baron buff, and it's definitely been to their benefit. We're seeing them up almost.
The Aphelios actually hits the ultimate, hits the sniper, and gets one auto on the Twitch, and he dies. That is a really nice pick out before this dragon spawn. And it does look like the Hecarim's actually taking the dragon, and they're actually able to take this mid tower, just the two of them. And
yeah.
Even though there was a dragon to fight for, it doesn't look like DZG is able to do anything. They're actually just losing the mid tower in the 2 versus no one. It does look like Trundle's actually trying to go to Syndra.
Like, what do you do as the side of DZG? You know, you can't step up without getting, maybe poked out or almost one-shot by the Syndra. If you overextend a little bit into the Aphelios right now while he has Cochrans, he is
going to... The hook actually connects, and a little bit of poke goes over to Nautilus, but it doesn't seem to be enough. They do get the tower down bottom side, and they're taking the inhib. It does look like they're going for the 3v5 up top. The Flay actually connects, and the ultimate actually hits the Shen instead of the Aphelios. They're actually going in for the 3v5, and it does look like the Twitch is doing a lot of damage. The Hecarim's actually connecting onto the Twitch, able to keep him out of the fight quite nicely. He's able to get the double kill. The Syndra's actually going down to the Wukong, and it's not enough. But it does look like the Trundle's able to chase off the Hecarim here, and Lissandra's able to get out with that flash.
I think this might be an opportunity for a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for the side of DZG. I mean, that's like we talked about earlier.
Able to slow Hecarim quite nicely. It does look like he lets him go though.
It seems like a little bit of BM from the side of Fever. Like, just reset. There's no need. You have no mana. Just reset. Go to lane. Like, go back. Buy items. You're super strong. I think that was an overextension. You already had the both mid and bottom inhib down, and I think it was just risky trying to fight under the tower, the topside tower. And because of this, we do see a lot of shutdowns being granted over to the side of DCG. Yeah, but that still isn't going to make up for what is still almost a 12k gold difference.
Yeah, we did see some nice gold be put on. I mean, we see the Wukong pick up his Trinity Force, and actually the Syndra's actually getting caught out in the side lane. Is able to hourglass and try to get this Thresh hook. Is able to get out pretty nicely. I would have expected a ward or something to try to deny it, but it doesn't look like to do anything.
That was actually a very good timing of that stopwatch. Had they not stopwatched at that exact moment, they would have been rooted by Lysandra and likely killed.
It does look like the Twitch is trying to secure this kill onto the Shen, but will it be enough before he's able to take the kill back? He does cleanse the taunt, and Morpheus actually about to go down as one to Shen. Shen gets the 2v1. I mean, that is a bit unfortunate for the side of DZG, and it does look like up top lane the Trundle actually does go down as well. And they're able to take this inhibitor, it looks like, and I mean, this probably might even be game if they're not able to do anything here.
I think this is game. There's just too many super minions coming in this base. And so the moment that this
we do see Thresh going for the hook, it does connect. The Aphelios getting knocked up. I don't think that's going to be enough. Lysandra actually focusing on the Syndra, and it's just not enough. And meanwhile, Aphelios on the other side just auto-attacking the Nautilus and just goes down. This is a triple inhibitor down, 2 Nexus towers gone, and the game is over. I mean, that was a really good showing on the side of Fever.
Fever may have looked good, but they're still nowhere near as handsome as DZG is. But I think as far as mechanics are going to be going, DZG is needed to step it up just a little bit as far as their performance in the mid and bot lane. And top lane, I guess.
Yeah.
The jungle matchup feels bad because the Hecarim was 8-1-4, but I don't think this was a bad performance from the side of Silent. This Hecarim just got too much gold and became too pretty of a pony.
Yeah, I think we saw like early on in this game the bottom lane just kind of getting out tempoed with the Aphelios and Thresh, and a couple of little helps from the Hecarim, which didn't really lead to much, but they were just kind of getting out tempoed in the 2v2. And this mid lane Syndra, she's playing so safe for having such a high damage cap. I mean, she's just able to get everything in, just every single Q, every single W hitting, every single E. I mean, just getting all these stuns, it's just not enough from the side of Lysandra, just not able to do anything back. But is there anything else that you think happened in this game?
I think the biggest thing here was the bot lane. We saw a lot of like bad early oversteps from the Twitch, which granted the Aphelios and Thresh a lot of opportunities to like dish out some poke. So every 2v2 fight, the Twitch was almost always at least like 3/4 the way, or a fourth of the way gone as far as HP was. And so there's always the inherent extra risk as far as the 2v2 was. And then when you add in the Hecarim, it's kind of made it so that the Twitch was almost always dead by the end of the 2v2 or 3v2.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty unfortunate to see the Aphelios getting so much poke in that bot lane before any of the fights were going off. But it does look like we're going to head into a break while we wait for the next game's draft to get started. So, see you there.
Did you think you could keep us out? Shut the gates, forget us now. Tides are changing. Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? With the ground beneath your feet, with a whisper in can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? We're the revolution. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up.
And we're back. It's the Saturday Slam Jam, and we've got once again DZG versus Fever.
Yeah, I mean, we do see, just like last game, the Rise and Diana being banned off here. I mean, it's pretty much expected. Is there any draft changes that you'd like to see out of DZG?
I would like to see the side of DZG either picking up the. I would like to see either the Aphelios or the Jinx left open, or at least or both banned. I think by leaving up the Aphelios while banning the Jinx, it just seems like a misplay as far as draft goes.
Yeah, I mean, we do see them change up two of their bans, and they do end up banning the Hecarim and Shen here. I would be expecting a Jinx pick, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I think that's the correct thing, I think, for the side of DZG to do. You either pick up the Jinx or pick up the Aphelios. I think that the Jinx would just be a better first pick.
Yeah, it is very common to see something like that. But I mean, over on the red side, we do have the swap. I mean, we do exactly what we expected. The Jinx does come in, and actually, the instant Lucian Nami lock in to counter into the Jinx.
That's
Uh,
ballsy. That is
yeah, that is a
ballsy.
very hyper aggressive bottom lane. If they're not able to make anything out of this early game, I don't see anything really able to come out of that lane.
I think by having the Lucian Army obviously is a very strong lane. I think it's definitely my least favorite bot lane as far as like playing against. Uh, for some reason, I want to see maybe something extra aggressive, like that
Like
like
a
will set
Leona.
up a potential for the the jungler to come in, which we're seeing the Leo locked in, which will be good for having the jungler come down and absolutely stomping out this Nami Lucian before they get going.
Yeah, I mean the Leona is just exactly what you're talking about. Something to go in with their jungler, able to shut down this Lucian Nami before they're able to get off the floor. But we will see this third pick here coming out of DZG, and it is the Xin Zhao being locked in. What do you think of that?
Xin Zhao is still a strong pick. I wouldn't say that he's my favorite, but I think it's still a good pick. There's a lot of early aggression that can come out from the Xin Zhao. And because of this, I think it makes a good potential for the Lucian Nami, like the gank spot lane onto the Lucian Nami.
Yeah, but we do see actually the J4 get locked in on the side of Fever, and that does set up really nicely up against the Jinx, able to, I mean, her not having a dash other than her flash, being able to lock her down. And we do actually see a Cannon ban coming through, and the Victor being thrown back. What do you think of that?
I think the Victor band's fine here, especially if DZG does not want to pick it up. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go and ban out the Corki. Though I would like to see DZG Dopamine on a more traditional mid laner, since the Lissandra pick didn't really pan out the way that I was expecting it to.
Yeah, I mean, if they know that the side of Fever's mid laner isn't willing to play the Corki, it isn't really a ban that they need to throw out. But it does look like they end up getting rid of it anyways. It's a bit different seeing that last game it wasn't banned or picked up by either side. And we actually just see a Gragas picked up. Where do you think this J4 and Gragas are going on the side of Fever?
Well, it's definitely a Gragas top lane. There's no doubt in my mind. It's Gragas top for a very safe top lane pick who can deal out a good bit of damage and is durable enough that he isn't going to be affected really that much by a gank. You immediately EOA, you use W for heal and durability, and you can always ulti the enemy team off of you the moment they try to like gank you.
Well, I mean, this is quite different from Fever Stubby up in top lane. I mean, last time we saw the Shen, it was very defensive, very like protect the ADC style, and now we see something that's a bit
Well,
more.
I don't know about
aggressive.
you, but I didn't see a lot of defending going on in that top lane 1v1.
Yes, we did see him basically taking it to the Wukong, but actually we do see DZG lock in the Akali. How do you feel about this going in blind over on the side of DZG?
I mean, there's
Oh,
nothing you can really do. It's going to be blind one way or the other.
it is top lane actually, and the Nico is actually locked in for mid lane. Uh, I don't know the matchup for Gragas Akali. I'm not gonna lie.
I actually think that the Akali is going to go mid, and I think the Nico is going to go top. I think that is probably like the reason being is that the Akali is immediately countered by the Gragas, because the moment that they throw down their Shroud, the Gragas ulti comes out to displace the Akali and push them out of it, immediately nullifying the ability of the Shroud. Whereas the Nico, you have a safe enough distance that you can like generate from this Gragas, and you're playing the range to range matchup essentially. The Gragas is going to be throwing out his Qs, and Nico is going to be range autoing against them to safely CS the wave.
Well, I mean, we've only seen the Nico come out of Dopamine, but it could be different today. We could see the Nico go up in the top lane, up in the hands of Leo the Sexy Lion. But we will have to wait until the end of the draft to see where it is going. But just by the looks of what you're expecting, what comp do you think is gonna go into this looking nice?
The thing to consider here is that there's a lot of combo potential for the side of Fever with the Kiana and J4. That is an instant delivery mechanism for the Orianna ulti. And because of this, you have the potential to EQ R onto somebody with the Kiana ball on you and get a guaranteed ulti.
Yeah, I mean the Orianna, the Gragas, and they just are the ball delivery systems for the side of Fever, and they do have very nice wombo combo. But over on the side of DZG, I mean, they do have some kind of nice frontline with the Xin Zhao and Leona.
It's good disengage tools, you know? I mean, the benefit to the Nico pick in this composition...
Follow-up.
The benefit to the Nico pick in this composition is the fact that it enables the disengage from the Xin Zhao and Leona, where the moment that the side of Fever hard engages onto the side of DZG, the Nico can drop down her ulti, as well as the Leona being able to peel for the EDC and their carries. But any misplay or mispositioning from the side of DZG is going to be easily exploited by the side of Fever.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Fever is able to wait out the abilities from DZG, it does look like they have a very nice engage. But we do see here Leo actually locking in the Akali and Gopamine getting the Nico. How do you feel about the matchups in the top and mid lane?
For all the reasons why I said why you wouldn't want the Akali into the Gragas, I still stand by that. I think that the Akali into the Gragas is a bad decision. And makes it hard to play that matchup top. Unless you're gonna straight ego and skill check the enemy top laner, it's going to be an unfun experience for the Akali.
I mean, if we go back to last game, it does not look like the skill check would be going in Leo the Sexy Lion's favor. But I mean, now we are talking in this mid lane. We have the Orianna versus the Nico. Normally, from what I've seen, the Nico is just her abilities are a bit too slow to hit the Orianna with that speed boost coming out of the W. How do you feel about that lane?
I don't know necessarily that the abilities are going to be too slow to hit the Orianna. I think that is just merely going to be a matter of like anticipating the ball placement, playing around it, and trying to play to the range of your abilities as best as you can. And the other benefit is that you might not necessarily even want to stay in the mid lane. I would have rather have seen the Akali go mid because I think that the assassin into a control mage matchup would be better for the Akali. But I think so long as that they are able to make big wombo combo plays elsewhere around the map, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, both teams do have this really nice team fight composition. DZG looking to wait out and look for the lockdown, and Fever looking for the big wombo combo moments. Now that we see the drafts, I mean, which side do you think is going to come out on top?
I want to say DZG. I really want to, but I think that the mid jungle synergy is going to be really devastating for the side of DZG. And I think unless they're able to shut down the Lucian Nami early, or at least scale better than them, or at least you don't even have to shut them down. Just so long as that you scale safely and get the Jinx to a point where she is able to dish out damage as much as she can, and there's enough peel for her, the Jinx can solo carry this game. The issue is going to be getting to that point to let the Jinx solo carry the game.
Yeah, understandable. I mean, obviously we do want to see a really nice game here, and we do want to see them get into this game 3. So hopefully DZG can make it out and get that Jinx onto this pop-off moments in the mid and late game. but we will be heading into a short break to get the spectator delay, and we will be right back.
I want you to come over. I wish that you would come and give me something to prove. Won't you pull me closer? I think that I'm obsessed with everything that you do. I'm waiting, trying to be patient. You look like a painting. It's so frustrating. I hate it, yeah. I probably shouldn't say this. I probably should erase it. I probably shouldn't say this. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, call me a fan. I'm living, give me your hand. I'm in it, yeah. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do. We've been making magic, and sometimes I get nervous, but too good to believe. I don't know how it happened.
Once again, it's PoE and Zexel for the Saturday Slammies, which are not the same as the Sunday Scaries, for all you college folks out there.
Yeah, I mean, we do get into this game. We see, like last time, 5-point out of both sides. I mean, if we're looking at the side of, or both sides, we do see. I wouldn't say that we see anything too crazy coming out of either side for runes, masteries, and items.
Honestly, I would have loved to see one of these sides take a invade. Just because there's a lot of... I would have rather seen the side of DZG look to, like, maybe get, like, a, invade on, get a pick early. At least generate, like, a minor advantage. Because you have the Nico route that you can play for, you have the Leona, and you have, like... There's just a lot of damage that you can dish out. The Jinx rockets do a lot early, and because of this, I think it would have been better for DZG to take an aggressive approach.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we don't see anything happen here. We do see J4 starting on the top side, and Xinjiao starting on the bottom side. On the side of DZG, what do you want to see coming into this early game out of them to get us into this game 3?
I want them to play safe. I want them not to take it. I think outside of like waiting for the Xinjiao to show up and make plays for them, I think avoiding dying to the Lucian Nami bot lane is going to be imperative to their success.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to see the Lucian Nami get really ahead, but I mean, we do see some really nice poke out of this mid lane. The Orianna chunking pretty nicely with that airy proc over and over again, but up in this top lane, the Gragas actually securing lots of grass procs with the W, and Akali's trying to trade back.
Well, and like I said, it's just going to be almost impossible for the Akali to trade back. The durability. I actually do like this from the side of DZG. Literally just conceding the wave, saying, "Okay, we know you beat us to the level 2. We need to get out of here."
Yeah, I mean, we did see the Lucian actually half health the Jinx and force the potion out. Because Nami actually put the E on Lucian, was able to proc it and get the electrocute to go off. We just see actually this top lane slow pushing into the Gragas. Hopefully he's going to be able to pick up all this farm under this turret.
The big thing for you have to keep in mind is that like this Gragas, like yeah, he may be having a rough time right now, but he will have Dominion over this wave once he's level 3. Oh, and we are seeing a pause coming in.
Yeah, we do see here, I think it was the jungle on the side of Fever actually DCing. It does look like they're back, so we shouldn't be too long until they're able to get back into this game, but seeing the way that DZG is playing so far, you think that they're going to be able to make it into this mid to late game?
Yes, I'm going to put my hands up in Spirit Bomb fashion and say that DZG is going to charge up for the next 15 to 20 episodes, and then eventually they're going to drop this Spirit Bomb onto Frieza, which is the side of Fever, and they're going to win this game.
I like your anthology there. It does look like a ready check's going on, but blue side hasn't readied up. I mean, if we're looking at this game so far, it does look like there's a bit of wave management going on up in the top lane, where Zinjal's actually invading and J4's on the bottom side. We do get a little bit of spectator lag, so we might have to reset a little bit and get back into this. But like I was saying, we do see J4 down that bottom side. What do you want to see out of the side of Fever, out of this J4?
I think that so long as the J4 is able to... Honestly, the J4 doesn't have to do a lot. Like, there's honestly no pressure from the J4 to make anything happen. Yes, he can always go to a lane, EQ, try to, like, get some ganks off. But the big thing is that even if they, like, scale slowly, he always is going to have the potential to EQ and grant the Orianna a free ulti.
Yeah, I mean, we actually do see the J4 pathing on bottom lane here. He is sitting in the tri-bush, and he might look for the gank onto this Leona Jinx. I think they're just waiting for them to walk up a tiny bit. He does go for the EQ. He lands on the Leona. He's able to secure it, but he gets the flash out, and it does look like they're just trying not to die as much as possible.
Yeah, you know, I think that the biggest thing now is for the Jarvan to just keep coming back and doing the same thing. But I think that this is actually going to be a death for the side of... Oh, the flash just came in at the right time, and DZG was unable to secure that kill.
Yeah, we do see a ward actually flashing over the Wind Becomes Lightning from Xin Zhao, and even though he does flash to get in range, it's just not able to connect, and he's not able to get the E afterwards and get onto Orianna. It is a lot of trades going out in that mid lane. I mean, it's actually going the opposite way that it was last game. There's a little fight going on in top lane, and a lot of health going down onto this Akali.
Well, like I said, the Gragas is a very durable champion. He is going to just W consistently for the decreased damage that's going to be coming in, and in the empowered auto attack. Like it's hard to be the Akali in this situation. And there's not much that, like, obviously being blue side, there's not much that you could do in that situation because you always are going to be at the disadvantage of the counter pick. But personally, I think the Akali top is a bold pick. I don't know if that's a blue side pick. I personally would say that that is more of a red side pick if you just want to be able to flex on your opponent in the way that Leo is attempting to do now.
Yeah, I mean, we do see the dragons spawn, and Xin Zhao gets the early reset, but he does end up having top lane. Jarvan a bit behind, clearing up those Krugs as they spawn. Probably going to look for a reset and then maybe path down bottom side. If we look here in the mid lane, Orianna actually only able to pick up the Sapphire Crystal on that reset. How do you feel about that up against the Nico's Blasting Wand?
I mean, yes, that's going to be some serious damage, but, I mean... As long as the Orianna plays safe, they're and like is able to CS properly, that blasting wand isn't going to make the world of difference so long as she can distance herself from the abilities of the Nico.
Well, I mean, I'm also looking at the summer spells, so Nico's also still on the teleport, so there's quite a big difference here in this mid lane. It does look like Nico's actually able to force Orianna under turret and force the potions out as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess that is the difference with Blasting Wand. I think that the Orianna can just go ahead and let the wave crash into her. I don't think that she is forced in the situation to try to contest the wave that she has been. Yeah, though, the only downside is it does generate the ability for Nico to start roaming. And maybe psych some people out with her passive and changing form, looking like Xin Zhao.
Yeah, I mean, we do see a gank coming here from Xin Zhao onto the Gragas. The E from Akali does not connect. The ultimate actually knocking back Akali, not even able to get into this fight. The knockup doesn't even go down, and Xin Zhao just takes a tower shot, and Gragas is able to walk out, not even having to blow the flash.
Yeah, like I said, this is a very safe, comfortable lane for the Gragas. Like, yes, you know, like, he may be down CS, but he isn't really worried about dying and, like, feeding this Akali. And for that exact reason, he just ultied, knocked the Akali away, and just walks away without really risk of dying in the situation.
Yeah, I mean, we did see this Akali pickup, which we would like to see something come out of it in this early game, I'd say. But, I mean, even taking up the Sork Shoes to try to do more damage, but it just doesn't look like he's able to get much out of it other than a couple CS. I mean, even down in this bot lane, they just don't seem to be picking up too much. I mean, earlier we saw a little bit of CS lead on the Lucian, but it's just kind of gone away after the minions ended up dying Jinx on the tower. We do see some nice poke coming out of Nico onto the Orianna in mid lane, and Xin Zhao's actually looking for a gank, it looks like.
I think we do need to take advantage, or DZG needs to take advantage of the busted flash from the side of Fever. Like, you need to go back to the Orianna. Like, you have to. If you really want to accelerate the lead and become a useful Xin Zhao, you need to get some kills.
Yeah, Xin Zhao's actually almost dead. Just the Dragon, the Lucian ease in, the stun going on to Lucian. He's getting CC'd. The exhaust goes on the J4. J4 flashes in, not able to secure the kill on Xin Zhao. They lock down the J4 on his way out, and he's just almost dead, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it. The Orianna ball actually kills the Xin Zhao. Leona has to get out. The Nico flashes in with the ultimate, able to kill one. On the back, the Akali's actually going in more, has to flash out a bit of an overcommitment from the Akali, and Lucian actually flashing back in, able to secure the kill into Akali. With the red buff, he might even be able to take down Nico as well. I mean, that was a very good fight for the side of Fever. That was actually something they really were looking for, 3 kills onto the Lucian.
Yeah, it was looking good for the side of DZG. We saw the initial kill, outside of the Orianna getting the first blood, like, it was looking like not a bad place to be, and we even see the TP coming down from the Akali, even picking up, you know, a kill, and it was looking good. I think that there was maybe an overextension, like maybe just once you got the kill, walk away, it's over. It was also very unfortunate for DZG, the fact that the Lucian and the J4 leveled up in the middle of that fight, and were able to execute, to turn the fight around with these new ultis coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the side of DZG not wanting to take these fights in the early game because they wanted the Jinx to scale up, but they take the 4v5 with the 5 of them, and they're just not able to get anything out of that. The 2 for 5, and this looked like J4's ends up picking up the first rake after all of this fight ends up going off. The Jinx ult trying to steal it doesn't get anything, and it does look like J4's handing over the blue buff to the Orianna. I mean, that might just put this lane like a lot harder for the side of Nico. And actually up in this top lane, we do see a lot more damage coming out from this Akali after that fight down bottom lane, able to pick up the blasting wand.
Yeah, it's going to be good for her to be able to deal out some additional damage, but like I said, I don't think there's a real kill threat here. The Gragas is still going to be able to play safe enough. He knows that this isn't the real Xin Zhao anymore, it's just the Nico. I think that this is maybe a mistake for Gopamine, sending out the Nico clone each individual time, because now it's like, hey, well, I know that that's not Xin Zhao. Like, that is clearly Nico. Nico's missing, and I just saw the Xin Zhao disappear.
Yeah, we do see Nico try to go for something up in the top lane, but it doesn't look like Leona hits the ultimate on Orianna, but she's able to flash out of it, and doesn't actually get anything out of that gank mid. This looks like Xin Zhao and Akali are trying to get this Rift Herald, and Orianna's on the first one to rotate. And this looks like Lucian Nami actually going for the dive on the Jinx, almost immediately kills her under that turret. The J4 ult actually able
Taken
to lock
straight to
both
the
of them in.
Thunderdome. I really don't think that this was what
Orianna misclicks the
DZG
ultimate,
goes for.
and Nico's able to stop the J4 from being able to get out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Nico actually takes down the J4 on the walk out because he doesn't have the EQ up anymore. And I mean, that ends up being a 1-for-2 up in topside. It's a bit unfortunate with the big J4 ultimate, but the Orianna just ulting on herself was a bit unfortunate for the side of Fever, and they're able to win that fight over on the side of DZG, and then it was a bit unfortunate that Lucian Nami was able to take out Jinx in this bot lane and dive her into the turret. It does look like they're able to pick up almost all the plates in this bottom tower. Lucian Nami didn't look like he was making anything up in his early game, but as of recently, it's been quite strong.
Well, when you have, 42 CS over your opponent and 4 kills and 2 assists, it's not hard to really start being able to do stuff as far as the game is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, we do see this Xin Zhao actually sitting in the tri-bush. They might actually look for something on this Lucian Nami lane, see if they overstay a bit. They are trying to chase the Xin Zhao connects. I mean, he goes back in with the... He instantly dies to the 3rd hit on the Kraken Slayer from the Lucian. It's a bit unfortunate for the side of Silent Elements. We do see the TP coming from Gopamine, gets chunked out of it by the Orianna. Nothing really happening there.
I think it was a mistake ganking so soon without having your ulti up, especially into the ranged Lucian. I think had the Xin Zhao had his ulti, maybe he would have been able to live just long enough to actually win that fight.
Yeah.
And just obviously with the Lucian being as head as he is, it's kind of hard to just say, hey, we're gonna just lock him down and shut him down. But when you're 5-0-2, it's kind of hard to do that, especially when you have a Nami constantly empowering you.
Yeah, I mean, we do see Fever picking up the first tower bottom lane, and with that amazing pressure out of the Gragas and the 1v1 up on top, they're able to actually just go and take the Rift Herald. It does look like Lucian Nami might be a bit overextended, but I don't think that DZG is going to be able to get anything out of it.
No, unlikely that they're going to be able to do that.
We do see about a 40 CS lead in that ADC department. Lucian just picks up the Essence Reaver on that base, and that is a really big purchase for the side of Fever. I mean, they're looking to get this game done quick and early.
Yeah, the Jinx is going to have a hard time even getting to the point that he can really contest this Lucian Nami. It's a very aggressive lane for the Lucian, and now with them being as behind as they are, they can never contest the 2v2 ever again. The moment that they try to engage or disengage, the Lucian will likely melt one or the other.
It does look like we have Orianna actually rotating to the bottom lane, Lucian Nami going mid. Jinx is actually just trying to pick up waves in that side lane and trying not to die to any ganks, but Leona actually cycling around to look for this Orianna maybe.
So I think this is I think that this is a mistake not matching the 2v2, like the Lucian Nami J4 in the mid lane right away. I think because of this we are going to see the tower fall, and by not allocating their bot lane towards the mid lane to counter, you don't have the ability to contest losing that tower.
Yeah, I mean, they do lose quite a lot of pressure not having that first tier mid tower now. The dragon is up. It does look like red side is going to rotate over and look for that Drake. But up on the top side, we do have some really aggressive posturing on the Akali, knowing that there is 4 people down on the bottom side. Akali probably won't look for the 1v1. I mean, there's nothing really coming out of this pick that we were kind of not expecting.
Yeah, the Akali, sure she's 1, 2, and 2, but we're not gonna see the 10-0, 25 stack Mejai's Akali that we would, an Akali player would love to see, because the goal of the Gragas is not to get a kill 1v1. The goal of the Gragas is to neutralize that lane and prevent the Akali from snowballing into an absolute monster.
That's exactly what's going on so far this game. There was just one TP where the Akali got a kill and a couple assists, and other than that, the Gragas is actually kind of just winning. I mean, he was able to get several plates in that TP. It wasn't really made up for ever since. We actually do see a lot of push coming down on the side of Fever, and I think they might be looking to go top lane now with this Lucianami. We do see the rotate.
Well, they're gonna
up.
want to bust these towers open. They're at this point for them. It's just there's no reason not to keep moving around your bot lane towards the lanes in which you want to crack towers, because they're so strong that they're gonna be able to generate advantages and really open up the map for the side of Fever, because there's no one that can really contest them. If you try to take the even 4v3, 5v4, you will lose this, as we saw in that first dragon fight. And because there's been so much gold granted towards the side of Fever again, it's hard to really say, hey, we can just commit all this resources and totally make it worth our while.
Yeah, the side of DZG is just hasn't been able to connect anything onto the solution so far this game, and we do see the Rift Herald actually placed pretty far up the mid lane. Akali actually rotating in. I think they're looking for a team fight here. The Nico and the Orianna actually trading poke. It goes a little bit in the favor of Nico, but she has quite low mana. I don't think the side of Fever is actually looking to go any more other than the dash out of the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I do think by placing that Rift Herald as far up as they did, it was kind of a waste. I mean, maybe not a waste. Oh, good shutdown coming over to the side of DZG. Silent almost picks up that kill onto the Nami.
Yeah, we do see a little bit of aggressive posturing in the jungle from the Nami. Seeing that Lucian J4 all the way back at the river, she tries to get a little bit of vision and just gets immediately killed for it with the Leona lockdown with the glacial follow-up. I mean, Zinzhou actually looking for the gank here. It doesn't hit that W and just not able to get into this lane. He does hit the second one. They're able to dash onto him. The ultimate actually coming out, knocking both of them away from the Gragas. The ultimate from Akali actually keeping her on top of him, but it does not look like it's going to be enough with Gragas actually able to flash out.
Yeah, it's able to flash out and move away. You know, it kind of sucks being DZG in this situation, because they did play that very well. They continue to follow up and try to shut down the Gragas, but at this point in the game, he's so beefy that it's really hard to have the damage required to really get a kill onto him.
We do see the Flash heal traded for the Flash ultimate in the middle lane out of the ADCs. I think that might have been a bit aggressive coming from the Lucian. To try
well,
to kill
the Lucian doesn't care that
point.
much. He's just he's always gonna have it. Unlike the Jinx, he is still at least mobile enough that he can move away, like to and from a team fight if he has to.
Yeah, it does look like Fever's actually picking up the Herald here.
Yeah, I think that Herald is definitely an uncontestable objective for the side of DZG right now. They don't have the laners in position to stop this, and I don't know that a team fight would have been even worth their while.
Yeah, it does look like the J4 actually going for the reset, and I'd expect Fever to be looking down towards this bottom side for this next dragon to be spawned. They do have four on the side of DZG posturing down towards it, but Lucian actually taking quite a late base. I don't know if he's going to be here in time for the dragon spawn, but I don't think it's going to matter, seeing that DZG is actually not actually able to get up and get any vision here.
Yeah, it's difficult at this point for DZG to really walk up. Like I've said multiple times this game, it's just the goal difference right now is, you know, 7k. This Lucian is an absolute menace to society, and walking into chokes like this is going to be the death of them.
Yeah, it does look like J4 is looking for something. The ball is on the Jarvan. He is looking to deliver this ball onto that back line and basically wipe.
He's looking to take him to the Thunderdome. It's plain and simple.
That is three-man immediately kills the Leona. Nico unfortunately was able to get out of that. Kali just running behind them, stalling them time as the dragon spawn. Gragas able to ult Nico into the team, but no one did to secure it. The hourglass coming out. Gragas actually getting taken down by the Jinx. the Xin is actually just not able to take any damage from the enemy's backline. Kali actually being able to stall out, just getting flashed on by the J4 and gets taken down. I don't know if that was actually worth from the side of DZG. I mean, after they get the pick on the Gragas, I think they should probably back off there. I don't know if the Kali needs to go back in.
Yeah, when all your target... Oh my god!
Ooh, the steal
Silent
comes
Elements!
out.
The man with the plan! The big steals!
Yeah, we do see the steal come out there from the Xin, and it's really unfortunate for the side of Fever not able to pick up that Mountain Dragon, which would have gotten them on the soul point.
The only element that was silent in that situation was the element of surprise. I don't think that the side of Fever were expecting the Xin Zhao to go hop right over that wall and get that steal the way that he did. Very impressive. Golf claps all around from the audience, saying, wow, Silent, you did it. You're the man.
Well, I mean, looking at this game, we do see it actually is kind of coming into like a bit of a stall. We do see a little losses on the side of DZG, but there's a bit of a stall coming in. How are you liking the odds of this game for DZG looking to scale for this Jinx?
I think that it's a real possibility that the longer this game goes, it's going to be better for them. The Akali will eventually hit a point that all these squishy targets are more likely to die each time that she uses her ulti. And I think if Silent can really, like, well, and also I want to talk about this for a second. In that last team fight, the positioning from the Jinx was actually really good. She was able to distance herself far enough away from the side of Fever that she was actually able to keep consistently dealing out splash damage onto her targets. And I think the moment that if Morpheus just plays like that each team fight, the side of DZG has a real potential to come back and win this game.
Yeah, I mean, the positioning from Jinx was very nice that team fight. Not anyone actually able to connect any abilities onto the Jinx in the whole fight. And it does look like Fever is positioning for Baron Vision here. The next Mountain Drake not being up for about 3 minutes, looking for top pressure and mid pressure. Even with the Orianna, who has the teleport, pushing that bottom wave, I mean, I don't know what DZG is looking to do, but this actually, Silent does look for the gank, but he does get spotted on that blue ward from Orianna, and it's a bit unfortunate that nothing is able to be done out of that.
Well, another Rift Herald that's maybe a little too far back in the lane, in my opinion.
I mean, they're going to start the Baron up.
Yeah, they're going to start it, but I don't...
It does look like Fever is actually just rushing the Baron here because Nico's taking out the Rift Herald up top lane, and I think nobody is even on it. Zinjao's not even paddling towards it too hard. I mean, the Jinx ult does come in, but I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you know that they're doing it after you use the Jinx ulti if you can't follow up with it. I mean, that's one of the hard things right now about not having the vision control within the river for the side of DZG. You can't really tell whether or not like they're going to look for an objective, or are they just trying to bait you. And because of this now, I think that we might not be, the side of DZG might not be able to stall out the way that they have been for the last, like 6 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about just before that Baron played, the side of DZG was looking for this stall. I mean, they were trying to lose as little as possible in these team fights, and after that Baron, I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything. I mean, we see the mid tower immediately going down. They have 3 people mid, the Orianna following behind them, and the Gragas also pushing this top lane just as hard. The Nico actually looking for the flank, doesn't end up getting there in time. The Gragas actually taking the tier 2 top as well. I don't know what DZG is going to be able to do here. I mean, they are able to stop this top tower from going down, it looks like, with Nico in the side lane up against the Gragas, but I don't know what they're going to make out of this afterwards, because it does look like they're actually pushing in this next Baron wave into the mid tower.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. I think if so long as that DZG can survive long enough for the Baron buff to wear off, they'll be okay, but they're in really dangerous territory right now just because of the Baron play from the side of Fever.
Yeah, I think that they're actually a bit split on the side of Fever. I think someone is pinging top tower, and they're all kind of like scattered mid. It does look like they're actually having the Gragas walk up now, and they should be able to take out this tower pretty easily. I mean, they might even go for the inhibitor here, but I don't know what the side of DZG is able to do about this, because They're trying to poke it. The flash out of Nico, the 4-man ultimate, able to lock down the Lucian Nami, get 2 kills immediately. I mean, the J4 goes down on the run out, and the Jinx is able to get excited and chase down this Gragas. I mean, that might be all she wrote for this Gragas, but it does look like he's able to connect the slow, but he does get slowed.
No, that fat man is too fat. He's got too much meat on his bones.
The flash over the
flash blast cone.
The plant does get the Gragas out in the end. I mean, even though that was a really nice engage from the Leona and Nico on the side of DCG, it did not seem like it was enough. I mean, they got 1 extra kill in that fight, and they might pick up the dragon, but I don't know if they're going to be able to... I don't even know if they're going to be able to get this dragon. Lucian's still sitting right there with the Gragas right in front of them. They might even go for the 2v3, because Lucian's quite fed.
I think the correct play, I think Silent Almost is going to die for this, obviously, but I think having that dragon and being able to stack that second Earthbreak is not a bad place to be. But I think if
Nico actually getting caught in the back end does look like as a bit unfortunate with having on the side of Dopamine.
Definitely a mechanical error and a pathing error, because obviously in this situation you should have stayed with your team. You should have pathed out the same way that the rest of your team did, and because you didn't do that, you are punished by this insanely fed Lucian.
I mean, now that they are 3 down for that dragon, they're four strong in this bottom lane, and Jordan's actually taking the mid wave. They might actually look for one of these Nexus towers, or even 2, after this inhibitor goes down. It does look like the Zigzag comes up, the Jinx is coming up in about 2 seconds. They might not be able to get too much here, but they might even look for a fight. Now it looks like they're choosing to back off a massive chunk coming from the Orianna onto the Leona.
Well, there's no need for Fever to fight right now. They're missing some key ultis, such as like the Orianna and Lucian ulti. They will be up soon, but there's no real reason to take that inherent risk when you don't have things that you need to win those team fights every time.
Yeah, I mean, the big parts of that team fight and last fight was the Nico getting that flash ultimate, and just after that team fight, we see Lucian reset and pick up the Maw of Malmortius. It's a bit unfortunate, but it might be a bit harder to burn down this Lucian.
Well, Maw is just a very strong item right now, and I think that because of the fact that the Lucian had almost taken a good bit of damage previously from the Orianna, who does deal a ton of damage in comparison, as well as the Akali, like, I think it's safe to say that, hey, I'm going to pick up this Maul, which is very strong in this current patch, just to avoid the likes of dying to an Akali ulti or Nico ulti.
Yeah, I mean, we do see the Lucian pushing this top wave while his team gets vision in the jungle. They're getting control. They're able to get this top tower. I mean, they pretty much have pressure all over the map at this point. And Baron is spawning really soon, in 50 seconds. They are looking for the inhibitor tower. I don't know if they need to overcommit here. It does look like no real poke is able to go down. The Leona ult goes wide, not able to connect to anybody, and I think that might be everything in this... no. Does look like they're pushing another wave. The Gragas E missing, and J4 actually EQing into the tower. The Akali dashing in, able to instantly kill the Nami. The Leona's tanking up everything she can, but she ends up being taken down. The Orianna ult connecting onto both Xin Zhao and Akali. Nico getting pulled in last second, able to get the Hourglass off, but she did not press R before Hourglassing, and it just instantly dies during her ultimate cast against the Lucian and Orianna. And it does look like Fever are going to take down DZG 2-0. That was a wild showing out of Fever. I mean, they're doing great. It's a bit unfortunate that we were not able to see that Jinx get online in that game and able to do anything in those team fights.
No, I think outside of a few key moments, this was just a tough game in general for DZG. I think that Morpheus really actually stepped it up a little bit this game in comparison to last, but the ADC diff was definitely there. It is unfortunate because I actually don't think DZG played nearly as bad as they did in the previous game. But the Lucian it was just impossible for any member of DZG to really get onto the Lucian and kill him. And as well as the fact that the Lucian did get some early gold into him. We are seeing that the Lucian did an outstanding almost 19k damage which is not shocking for a 10-0-8 Lucian.
Yeah, I mean, we see damage numbers coming out from everyone, even on the side of on the side of Fever. I mean, we see the Nami even putting up damage numbers of 5,000, which is almost in comparison to the Xin Zhao, who wasn't really relevant in most of those team fights. But we do see it's a bit unfortunate. Fever does take down DZG in that game. Do you have any final thoughts about those two games?
I think as far as the swapping out of certain positions for the side of Elysium made this game extra difficult. I think that this would have been a good game no matter had the members of Elysium had all of their normal starting players. It is kind of inconvenient. It does add unnecessary hurdles for Elysium in this, and what would essentially have been a tough fight either way. I think if I were Elysium, I'd be like, hey, look, we'll see you in playoffs because you get this freebie because we're just so nice and generous. But next time we run into each other, it's game over for you.
Yeah, it's a bit unlucky that in neither of those games we were able to see anyone specific on the side of DZG Elysium get online. But it does look like that is all we have got here for today, and that will be it for today.
But while we're on our way out, I think you guys should all come check me PoE out next Thursday. All you thirsty sons of a guns for some incredible gameplay from one of the top 3 junglers in the Aegis Protectors League, as well as some other handsome members on the side of DZG Olympus. And then after that, you got like Friday and Saturday where you might see some other, DZG teams. But you should see me specifically on Thursday.
PoE.